Hello, everyone. Welcome for East Coast and West Coast Queens Connect. Hold on one second, y'all. I'm a little classy, a little hood. I'm Success Money out here in LA, out here in the hood. So, my neighbors got to roll by with their music too. So, let me see if this is better. You can hear me better?
Yes, I can hear you better.
Sorry about that, you guys. We're out here in the hood in LA, and everybody rolls around with their music. So welcome to West Coast and East Coast Queens Connect. I'm Success Money, and I have also my host
Prova actor from the East Coast, and we're here today to give you guys a lot of gems, like certain gems that we probably have wished that we knew earlier on. I feel like it's kind of like a little cheat code. It's almost unfair that we weren't necessarily having access or awareness of it sooner, but we're glad that we have it, so that now we can actually share it with you guys. So we're super excited for this call.
Yes, I like that little cheat code. So in order to get started, I like to start my morning out with a little movement and message in the music. So let's get into our song of the day. We don't own the rights to this music, but we want to thank Pharrell for keeping us happy. I need you to get happy with us right quick. Take a little time and just get happy.
Raise those vibrations.
Clap along, y'all. Hey. That's what you want to do. Yes. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to. I love music, and a good message in the music is
that's actually hard to come by nowadays. Music with actually good messages. Like, I don't know.
Man, you're right.
The lyric part now.
Right. Like, you got a good beat. Like, the beat is definitely great. Got you moving. But what's the icing on the cake? Oh, the words.
Right. Like, imagine moving people with words. That's a different type of movement.
Especially when there's so much power in your word. There's so much power in what you guys speak.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So just imagine you're singing this song over and over and over and over, and it's like really working for you.
Yeah,
because I'm happy.
You have no choice but to be happy.
Right. So what are some of your favorite songs that got a message in it? I mean, that was just the top of my mind at the moment.
So right now, I'm actually I'm really feeling this song. I'll show you. I've seen a lot of TikToks on it, and ever since I seen a TikTok on it, I'm like, oh wow, like I actually really like this. Like, I wouldn't. It's called "I Am" by Young Baby Tati.
I just saw that.
I love it. I think it's a great song. I think
we should do a TikTok to it.
No,
I think we should do a TikTok to it.
I really should. I think tomorrow, when I'm all dressed up and I have my suit on for the BBP event tomorrow,
yes,
the perfect time to start that little TikTok. But I'm just so incredibly excited for it, and I just cannot wait. But that song really gets me up and moving, and it gets me really feeling. And then I actually have a playlist on as well. It's called the C750 playlist. It's just all high vibrational music and everything. Like, it's really good. I'm trying to see what it's the song that David plays when he's trying to really get us to feel, and it's called Agape by Nicholas Britell. Trust me, the moment now, I'm gonna play it right now, and I promise you, you're gonna recognize this song. You know this song. Are you getting flashbacks?
it kind of just makes you gotta get into your zen and
Like
spend time with
spirit.
it.
Like
Just
what
spirit just says,
when I think about my spirit, I don't really think about words. I really think about like feelings. I
feelings.
really think about feelings, and like that's probably why I spend a lot of time listening to instrumentals, because when I listen to instrumentals, I'm very very focused on not really what's being said, but how the
Yeah.
music makes me feel. And it usually, certain instrumentals has a way of making you just feel so good. Like you listen to it, you're like, wow, like, like so much stuff is happening for me. So much stuff is coming my way. I'm literally walking into greatness right now as we speak. Like it completely shifts your mind. And I just love it so much. Like this is just a little snippet of what we were talking about, guys, of the cheat code, like the cheat code, the ultimate cheat code to wherever it is. You could be in any field, you could be doing any career choice of your choice. Like it literally could be anything.
Yes.
And it still can apply to you, and you can still find OD benefit from practicing this. So I'm really excited for that.
That's something he actually just mentioned on a live he was doing the other day. Like the information is the same. Like the Bible is the same. A lot of the words and things are the same. It's like you'll read a book one time, but something just clicks when you read it again. Like at that particular time and moment, the message hits you, and it was like, I never read those words before. I never heard that before. But the right timing, as far as where you're at, it's gonna click in right when you need it.
Absolutely. I remember when David, when he was given his I Believe experience, which, by the way, guys, if you don't have your ticket for the I Believe event, we gotta think this through, because I Believe has definitely changed my life, like changed my entire life. It changed Success's life. That's actually where Success and I even met and got the idea to show for you guys. But it is so amazing with what is possible when you attend an event like that, an event of that caliber, of that that group of people, because it's all super super successful people in all different fields who have the same want as you, who want to learn like you, who want to grow, who want to make a lot more money, and really just live to their full potential. It's not really about the money, it's really but doing all the things that they love and all the things that they want.
Yes.
So it's amazing. I just remember when he would talk, he would always tell us like, oh, you know what, you'll get it on the way home. You'll get it on the way home. And he had so many things that he was saying that he was like, oh, if you don't really grasp this right now, it's okay, you'll get it on the way home.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. Like there would be certain instances in my life that would happen once I got back home, and I'm just like, this is what David was talking about. Wow, right. This is really what he was talking about. I see it happen. I feel it. It's incredible. So I definitely feel you. I absolutely feel you, and I'm excited. I'm excited for all the new women and all the new people that we're gonna meet at the next event. This is gonna be crazy.
So it's gonna be in July 16, 17, and 18 in Orlando, Florida. So I'm already looking at flights, girl. I'm just like, I know I'm gonna have to fly in. Right. That's why I really feel like this spontaneous travel group that we're gonna launch here, exclusive for the East Coast, West Coast Queens to connect. We're gonna be launching some spontaneous travel. So fellas, you're welcome to come. So if anybody wants to join, definitely go to our FB group, East Coast and West Coast Connect, so we can get you connected, because you want to attend these events no matter where they are. We're going to be flying around the world, meeting wonderful people like you, and we got to stay connected. That's what this is about, so we can share the good news. When you find out something that's so, like, it helped you so much and you want to share with other people, and you're just like, oh, just even like with Forex or trading, or when the binary starts hitting, or some you just learn and you're like, oh my God, this is so wonderful, I want to share it with somebody else. And people aren't ready for it yet, they just don't get it, and they're just like, get it. But that's the same thing with spirit. Like when it's time, people will get what they need to get. Everything you need is going to come in the proper timing. Timing is like really everything for some things.
Mm-hmm.
You can't,
No.
you got to be ready. And some things take time.
Right. And some things don't take any time. Actually, some things
Right.
don't take much time at all. It's
Because you
really,
may be
really
already
funny.
ready. You
Yeah.
developed what you needed to develop in a previous lifetime. So you're already like, I'm ready for this cycle.
Yeah, no, for real. And it's crazy that we were just talking about words and just how much words really affect our spirit, and everything like that. And I feel like success, you're the perfect person to have this conversation with, because like I said, guys, when we met at the I Believe Nation event, and I was just mind blown, not just by the event itself, because that was just poof, but
Yeah.
us sitting next to each other and us just having these conversations, like it almost felt as if Success and we just knew each other for years. We were
Mm-hmm.
girlfriends, like, we just reconnected after a little while. Like, it literally felt as if I already knew this woman. And then I come to find out, her name is Success Money. And, David had just finished speaking on, how the spells that you put over your life are very, very important. So your name is very important.
Mm-hmm.
What people call you, what people say to you all the time,
Yeah.
and how people speak to you and how you speak to yourself. I am
Yes.
success. Like, that has to be the most powerful thing ever. And so I found out a little bit more about Success, and I understood that she actually even went as far as, changing her name and really,
Mm-hmm.
really embracing what it means to have, words that speak life over you.
Yes.
Words that really bring you success and all of that stuff. So Success, I would just like to, obviously get some more gems from you as to how you've really taken that, internalized it, and made it your lifestyle now to live in constant affirmation and to live and choose to live in that constant, like, positive environment.
Right. Right. I mean, it really goes back to being a great student. So if we're learning, like in the Bible and in different words, it'll tell you about speaking your word.
Mm,
The words have so much power for what you speak. And just to hear, like I was really thinking about confidence growing up as well. Like whatever, a lot of young girls, if they're told they're beautiful, you're smart, you're brilliant, even just kids in general, they actually start believing that. If
mhm,
you're telling them they're brilliant, you're such a great student. Now if you're telling someone you're ugly, you're a loser, you know, like it doesn't even feel good saying that, but to hear that as actions, but to go so far to be like, every time you open your mouth, I want you to say, I'm success, or say success. And not even just for me to hear it, but for you to speak it. Because if you're calling my name, you're saying success. And that's going to mean whatever it means to you. Like your idea of success is your idea of success that you associate in your mind of the meaning of success. So mine is associated to spirit, because peace and harmony is like my greatest treasure. Like you can't put a price tag on having good, peaceful, harmonious relationships, even within yourself. Because a lot of people are not peaceful and happy and harmonious with themselves, and that's
mhm.
where it needs to start first. So if you're figuring, how can I set my life, how can I trigger, like when you realize you've been programmed growing up, you've been tricked, letting you guys know you've been tricked. They've been programming you for things and you didn't like agree to it. You're watching commercials, you're hearing music, stuff that's telling you stuff all day, constantly. How about you trigger yourself to where you're going to speak words that you really want to attract to you? you know so there's different ways that you can do that, but having a community, creating affirmations, like what do you tell yourself every day? What do you look in the mirror and say? Like anybody that's ready to go to the next level and achieve greater success, um when you get a coach, these are some of the things they're going to tell you to do. Like if all the successful people are saying, watch what you're listening to, watch what you say, what are you calling yourself? What are you saying every day? What do you hear the most out of a day? Your name.
This
Everybody
is
call it. They're going to end up saying your name. So if
mm,
you're going to call me, what should people call you? What do you want people to call you?
right. No, that's an amazing thing. And just to go as far as that, like it's because it's like it's really that it's the application and success. I really think the reason that you shine so bright, what sets you apart from a lot of other stars out there, I think it's really your application. It's really you taking what you're learning and being completely submissive to that information, and actually applying it in your life. Because I'll be honest, I was in the room with you. I heard a lot of the same things that we heard. Obviously, David did a fantastic job, like really, really describing it to us. But aside from all of that, I would have never, ever, 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 ever thought to change my name. I would have never thought that far. I would have just, I don't think my mind would have come up with that idea, and but it makes total sense because, it is true that one thing that you hear the most is your name from everybody, anyone and everyone. That's the first thing that they ask you. That's the first thing that they, will call you and everything. So imagine you had a power over, what people call you, and you actually do. You might think you're listening to what your parents, have named you, but that's not true here. You can definitely make those choices. So I 100%, I'm still shocked even to this day that that's a thing. Like I could really sit here and be like, yeah, I just sat next to success, and I just, we just had lunch together, and she's actually one of my girlfriends. Like it's just crazy to even be able to say that. So I can only imagine what it feels like for that to really be your name. So that's amazing. And so tell me also on a little bit on you've also, went hard. You've also gone above the norm when it comes to really, really, really speaking life into yourself. And I remember you had mentioned to me you had these affirmations within your own voice. So can you go a little bit more in detail as to like what gave you that idea? How did you execute it? And what did it feel like after you really heard it in your own voice?
So yeah, I started doing a lot of subconscious mind programming, studying, researching that a little bit more as far as really helping your mind work for you, and activating your subconscious. Because a lot of people don't realize, even though you say no, your subconscious is still like, we're still going to have you do that. So really beginning to understand our mind and how we work. But then also realizing that your voice, like you talk to yourself, you don't realize you talk to your voice when you're thinking, so your brain is naturally receptive to your own voice, because it's like, oh, I can sit here and just think, she looks very pretty, but I didn't say it out loud until you heard me, but I'm saying it in my mind, and I can hear myself saying, wow, so you're talking to yourself. You're not crazy. It's okay. But if this is a little cheat code, little trigger hack, that if you record your own voice, your subconscious will pick it up much sooner, much easier, much faster, because it's not saying like, who is this talking to me? Do I trust this voice? Like, your mom's voice, spiritual leaders and different people you're used to listening to, your brain naturally says, okay, I trust this person. I accept this person. I'm going to listen to what this person says. So then you start receiving that message even more.
Wow.
And just to have your own messages programmed, like it's really transformational to just spend some time doing that. Sometimes you got to like isolate other things and just like, let me tell myself some great things right now, And to pair that with some visuals, that's just like really, truly phenomenal. The next level hack code.
Wow. I literally cannot wait to do it. Seriously. I literally cannot wait to do it for myself as well, because of all the information that we learn on how this works. It's really a cheat code. It's for real cheat code. And one thing I want to kind of emphasize is that a lot of people have trouble actually applying because they're worried about how it might look or how it might sound, or like, I'm not gonna lie, there are people out there that they kind of like they're so down in the dumps that when they see a genuinely happy person or a genuinely successful person, they think it's weird. They're like, oh, you're just you're too much. Like, oh, you like, why are you doing that? That's so weird. Like, they think, and I had to, at first when I heard about it, I'm just like, what? And then I really realized, I'm like, no, it makes perfect sense because, ignorance is bliss, and what people don't know, you can't blame them for it. So they just don't have access to this information. They just never learned what we learned, which is why they think the ways that they do. But I definitely want to emphasize that, you have to do the corny things. You have to do the corny things. The corny things is what actually works. That little extra mile that most people go to do the corny things, it could be the very big difference as to why somebody's making, $100,000 a month and someone who's making $1,000 a month, like it really, really could be the difference. And I've just seen it time and time and time again. My mentor, Amber Deaton, and she, we were friends in college. And so it almost felt as if we started at the same area in terms of success in a way, right? We started around the same way. We went to the same college. We both graduated together. That was all cool and all. But she was always very, very, very spiritually inclined. She was very spiritual. She really, really had those conversations with God. She would always pray, and she would always really actively see what she wants. In her room, there are her dream car, her dream house, what kitchen she wants, what outfits she would want to buy, things like that. It's all over her house, in her bedroom, in her bathroom, in her closet, anywhere that she's constantly looking, it's there. And I can just see the level of success that she's had in such a short period of time. And it makes sense because it's just okay, you've done a lot more believing. You've done a lot more active, very, very focused believing on what it is that you want, which is why you're much closer. You are much closer than when I met you in college, and you weren't doing these things, as to now that you are doing these things. And now all those things that you kind of wanted, you're attracting to you. So I can only imagine now with those pictures and stuff, once you add the auditory experience when you're asleep, because obviously theta is very powerful when you're in REM sleep and you're in theta mode. Your brain is very, very powerful at that time. So I can only imagine, listening to your own voice say those things, those wonderful things that you really should be saying to yourself anyway, every day, constantly, over and over and over and over again. Let's not start with over and over and over.
Well, I'm gonna keep it real with you. It is a process, and my spiritual leader, Michael Beckwith, from Agape International, he's in the movie The Secret, and so just going deeper into understanding your spirit, you'll realize that sometimes you play the victim. There's a lot of things that you got to clear out within yourself so that these things that you're listening to, you're speaking, you're hearing can really manifest, because it's internal work. It's really your spirit that has to evolve. So you got to spend some time doing the work. So the more time you can meditate, you can pray, you can, focus on you and connecting with spirit even more, the faster things will, manifest for you. And the more you can make it through whatever hump that you're going through to understand. But a lot of times, guess what? It's not going to be right in front of you. You have to have the vision of it. So, Prova, maybe you can chime in on, a lot of people are used to getting things fast, or, wanting to see the end. But even with college, being able to see what your life is going to look like, even though it doesn't look like that today.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I feel like, we were conditioned to have, vision or for certain things. We were not it wasn't normalized to have vision for everything. It was just normalized to have it for certain things. Okay, once you start college, you envision yourself graduating. That's why you're going to college. You really do want to actually graduate. So you see that vision over and over and over again. So, when you're not necessarily, you know, when you're not necessarily doing so well in classes, or you're flunking a class or two, and you may have to take a class over whatever, you're pushed back a little bit. But at the end of it, you still know, hey, once I finish these however many credits, I got this degree. Now, it does not matter if it takes me 2 years, 4 years, whatever years. I just know for a fact that if I do this many credits, I'm going to get this degree. So it's a lot easier, and it's more so of a norm to have vision when it comes to something like this. But it's not normal to things that aren't as, I guess, common to do, like becoming a millionaire when you're 23, you know, or when you're 21 or whatever. That's just not as common. And so to have a vision like that, to see a vision like that, it's almost looked as like preposterous. It's like, what? Like that's not normal. That's just not what people do or whatever. And so I just learned in the space that I'm in. Thank God for I Am Mastery Academy and for the mentors that I had, you know, Chairman Dan and Chairwoman Amber. They are not only such good friends of mine, but they lead with so much love. It's almost crazy. Like, I've never felt such an umbrella of guidance ever before in my life. You know, I've had teachers, I've had other, you know, people like that guided me here and there, but never to this degree, never the holistic of like, are you doing what you're supposed to do? Are you okay? Are you mentally all right? Like, are you happy? You know, are you doing what you love? Like that holistic love that I've never really experienced that before. But they always spoke about having vision oversight. And when they would say that, there's just like, you know, it does not matter what your current circumstances are. It does not matter where it is that you are at this current moment, because you know for a fact where it is you're going. You know, if God, and Amber would always tell me this, if God were to come down right now and said, hey, Prova, at this day, if you every single day put in a little bit of effort into what it is that you do on this day in 2021, you're gonna hit champion, right? And then she was like, would you really care what your circumstances right now look like? Like, things could really go to crap right now, and you would be like, look, God already told me what's done, so I'm just waiting, you know, I'm just waiting for it to load up. I'm just waiting for it to manifest in my real life. Like, that's just what it is. And it's a different level of like belief. It's a different level of faith. It's a different level of belief. And that's really what pushes people so far. That's why people have accomplished so many crazy things. Like, we're on the moon. You know, like we do crazy, like us humans, like when you go outside and you see these buildings, it's like, bro, like
who thought of that?
Yeah, like we really buildings. You see a airplane, it's like somebody made that, like So when you think of it like that, it's like, bro, we're so capable. We are so incredibly capable, but we just don't have that belief, because for people to do those astronomical things that they do, they have to believe that they can do it. Like, they have to have that vision that, like, okay, I don't know what it is right now. Girl, I can't figure this out right now, but I just know. Right. Same. Where is it? Right on my wall.
Why is this little rock that's just sitting right here on the table say believe?
That's crazy.
How random.
On my wall as well. And it's just like they just really, like, they just don't believe that they can truly actually do this. And that's what, you know, ever since learning that, like I said, guys, we're out here to give y'all the cheat codes. Like, this is I don't care what field you're in. I don't care what it is that you do. You apply this and you're just guaranteed to succeed. It's even scientifically proven. You know, I was reading this book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and they were talking about there. And by the way, please read that book. It is phenomenal.
Write that one down.
Phenomenal book. But anyway, so there's this thing that they did where they had these people. They had a group of kids who were like, you know, throwing basketballs, and they were actually physically practicing. Okay, they were physically practicing getting the basketball in the hoop. And then there was another group of people that did not practice, you know, at all, or whatever, did not practice at all, but they believed that they were thinking it, and they saw it, and they envisioned it, and they believed that they could do it. That's all they did. No physical action, no nothing. And then there were people who obviously just did like nothing, you know? And other than just, you know, just talk about it kind of thing. But so the group that believed that they can do it, and the group that was actually physically practicing it, you know, the difference when it came to like how capable are they of doing it, the difference was minimal, like maybe like 1%. Like it was so
Wow.
minimal. And it's just like
Wow.
crazy that it's like if your mind has that much power, you know, if you're really capable of that much power, it's just so crazy to even imagine what you can do and what you can accomplish and how many people you could impact. You know, nobody
Right.
wakes up one day and thinks, oh, I'm just gonna be a legend, you know, I'm just gonna put people on the moon and people are just gonna know me for that legacy or whatever. Nobody just wakes up and does that, you know, but it's just that vision. It's really vision and just carrying out your vision every single day. So I'm just very grateful. I'm so grateful for the mentorship, for the knowledge that I've had, for the things that I've been able to do, because quite honestly, I never saw myself in this field. I never thought I could do it. It's not even a thing of like believing in. I didn't even know it was a thing. I didn't even know that this existed. Like, wow, you can.
But just imagine as a child, if someone really did show you and tell you, like all throughout school, that they actually implemented into you, just like they tell you to go to school, get a job, that you could really do anything that you wanted. And and gave you the cheat code.
Imagine
like,
that was the norm.
Here's the cheat code. Like, you can do anything. I believe in you. You just got to believe in you. And even if it doesn't seem like it's so today, you got to see it, you know? And it's so funny when you look back at like your yearbooks and stuff, and people used to get, you know, most voted to succeed, or, you know, they always would say, you know, oh, this person that looked like the nerd was going to be y'all boss. You know, nowadays it's like, you, no matter what you look like, whatever it is you want to do, you could do it. You know, you can do it. You can be athletic and be academic and, you know, like break those stereotypes, because, you know, there's a lot of stereotypes that come out that a lot of people utilize them to hold them back.
Yeah, limiting beliefs. A lot of limiting beliefs. And what's crazy about them is that those beliefs aren't even your own. Like, they're not even your own. Like, bro, like, you never sat in front of the mirror and really said, wow, I cannot be a millionaire. Nobody ever did that. It's really somebody else. Somewhere along the line, somewhere in your teachings and what you've been exposed to and what you've been interacting with, whatever, somewhere along those lines, somebody around you said, you can't be a millionaire because whatever, right? So that was picked up and that was internalized, and it was made seem as if it was your own thoughts. Like, that's really something, a limiting belief that you now have, and it didn't even come.
That's why you have to keep little reminders around. Like this little rock, I have different rocks that, you know, sometimes you need to hold them to really feel solid, but this just reminds you, believe. Soon as somebody says you can't do it, believe. So I think we're going to have to definitely launch our little line of trinkets and things that you can do, because you gotta cheat code. You gotta really hack yourself and keep words around you, images around you, different items around you that will reinforce.
Because out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
That's what it is. Because you don't see it enough. It's just not in your mind enough. You're just not triggered enough. But if this is something that you know, like everybody knows that if it's not in front of me, I'm gonna forget about it. Whether it be your shoes, whether it be your umbrella, whether it be your lunch for the next day. Like, you know what I'm saying? We know this. This is stuff that we know. And yet we don't think it's possible. We don't think it's real when it comes to little trinkets or little words or, you know, things that you carry with you. That's crazy. That's real, like, insanity, because it's like, how, like, if it works for everything else, why wouldn't it? You know, why wouldn't it work for this?
Yeah.
But definitely that's a great idea. I would love to, I think little necklaces, little rings. Little,
we got to come up with a whole line to help reinforce, because it's all about believing. That's really, really what it comes down to. Like, a belief is a thought that you kept thinking. That's why you believe it. So you got to keep implementing certain thoughts to reinforce.
Absolutely. And success. It just came to me the example that David Menenti had used. He was like, you've heard your name, and that's why I actually mentioned about your name. You've heard your name so much growing up that you believe it to be your name. And so if somebody were to come here to you right now and said, you know what, I'm gonna start calling you Stephanie, you know, you would look at them crazy. It's like, why would you call me Stephanie when you know my name is Success? Like, I totally success. That's literally what I've been called my whole life. It's success. You know, like you would really look at them crazy, like I don't understand. And that's exactly what it's supposed to be like. That's really what it is supposed to be like. When you start believing in an idea over and over and over repetition, over time, all that stuff, when you start doing that, of course, it's gonna seep in and manifest in your life.
Yes. And it's so fun once you start realizing your power, because it's a power, you guys. Like when I first watched The Secret, I don't know, I feel like it's been umpteen years ago. I wasn't alone. I actually had two cousins, my first cousins, and it's so great when you become awakened with other people because you really go in on them. Like we would pull people off the street and bring them in and say, you got to watch this. You got to see this. Do you know about the law of attraction? Do you know that what you think, what you say, you know, what you feel, all those things matter and they're attracting things to you? Like, why is this a secret to everyone? Like, what are you calling yourself? And this was right when I had a dinner with Dr. Karenga and thought of calling myself Satawi, which is success in Swahili. But I said, you know, I want everybody to know what they're saying. You know, you have to, you know, associate your own meaning and connection with it. And so just everybody thought we were like a cult because, you know, when you're so happy or you're so positive or you're different than what a lot of people are used to, they're just like, something's wrong with them.
Yeah. No, and the cult thing, it's so true. Like people really describe it as like a cult. Like that's crazy. What's insane about it is that if there's really that many, if like it can't be a cult if it's like 3 people. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of us. So there is that many of us, and all you see is happy faces, people reaching their full potential, people striving for more, people getting more money, people being successful. Like that's just all you see. And then obviously there are people that are on their way to success, right? There are people that are still discovering themselves, people that are still putting it in practice and whatnot. But overall, they have been heightened in some way. You know, whether they're more aware now, they're more careful of how they speak, or they're more focused. I don't know, whatever it may be, they're just heightened in some way. If there's that many of us, it makes no sense as to why it's so rare. It just makes no sense. You know,
it's a journey.
It really is a journey. And I do feel like this generation, you know, come like now, I think they're going to be like, I think we're literally in the middle of history. Like we're creating history right now. Like I honestly genuinely believe that, because this generation of people coming up, these kids right now, they don't think like the older types because they see the holes in it. They see the cons of it, and they understand that, you know, even if believing in yourself might be a little bit harder than staying in your comfort zone, it's just so worth it. It's just worth it. So I really do think that this generation is going to be like the pivotal point where we look back years from now and it's like, yeah, that's when they went around, and that's when 9 to 5 became rare. You know, that's when
look, the world has caused it. It's like so many people who never even thought about homeschooling their kids are homeschooling their kids.
Yeah, like, people who didn't even think about ever working for themselves
from home,
from home or working for themselves. Now they have to. The world caused it. Like we can never ever go back. You know, with this pandemic, this is our new normal. There is no, oh, I can't wait for things to go back to normal. Like it's gone. It will never be the same again. You know, and so it's crazy because you see some of those things as a negative. It's like, wow, like my life really changed, and it's this and it's that, and I you know, granted, things are looking rough. Things have been hard within the last couple of months, especially. But I just think that overall, you know, people are spending time with their families more.
Mm-hmm.
People are finding out how they can diversify their income. People are finding ways to have a plan B that doesn't require anybody else's hand in it. You know,
Right.
people are forced to be uncomfortable. So they're literally growing in ways that they've never grew before, like ever.
Yes.
And so as
Yes.
hard as this pandemic has been, and you know, with all the sadness that has been around, the one little beacon of hope that I still have, the one little beacon of faith that I still have, is just like, we're getting better. We're getting
Yeah.
much better as a collective, you know, not just me. I mean, obviously I've personally experienced it. It has somehow been the most eventful year of my life, but it's also been great, you know.
You know what I've also kind of heard, that whatever kind of like burns you or like just bothers you a little bit is kind of like your passion, what you should focus on. And whenever we talk about the left side of money, the right side of money, and how
Mhm.
you have workers, you have some self-employed people, and then you got business owners, and you also have investors. How that one right side is always like 5%, and then
Yes,
the other side is 95. Like that
95%.
that actually irks me.
Yeah,
So it's like we need to get this 5% up. Like we
right.
need more business owners, we need more investors, we need more people getting to the right side of money.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's why I feel like definitely your spirit has to be in alignment. Like, we're doing this because whenever your wealth is set up, you can help with your health. It's just when you have your finances together, when you have your mindset together, then you can really take off to be like, I'm gonna take us to the moon. Because
Mhm.
we need more wonderful creators to be able to come out and experience their full potential. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So there's some things that you weren't taught in school, or your parents didn't teach you, that weren't passed down. So, it's blocking you from really bringing forth your talents. Like, you
Exactly.
can't, there's so many creative people. Like, I have clients that are creative, and they don't really like to do the management thing, the management of finances. No, you know. So but we all have to find that balance in order to obtain our full potential and be here to provide our purpose to everyone. So
Mhm.
we're actually coming up on the end of the hour, and I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We're going to definitely have this replay. We want you to come out and join our East Coast and West Coast Connect group. So whether you're in New York or you're in Cali or anywhere in between, we have some wonderful people that can connect with you, and stay tapped in, with the spirit, your finances, fashion. Like, I'm a little classy and a little hood, but
Right.
everybody is, they got their own flavor. Hey, how are you? So yeah, I decided to shoot outside, you guys, in my neighborhood because the sun was so great. We got to appreciate the sun that we do have. I'm so thankful, even though I'm under the shade at the moment. But my neighbors are strolling by saying hey, and I decided I'm gonna give away some free clothes today. So I'm gonna be putting out the Free Friday, giving back to the community. Normally put out some food and some clothes, and if you want to donate, connect. If you guys are doing something to help the community, definitely let us know so we can share the good news, and be a good spirit to people. Proba, is there anything you want to add in before we close out? Oh,
No,
tell
you
us about your event. Let everybody know about your event that's going on out
yes,
in Pennsylvania.
yes. Guys. Whew, I had to I almost forgot because I was having such a good time on this call. But then I remembered again, and it's crazy, guys. Tomorrow we are having our first ever, first ever BBP event. It's out in Pennsylvania, guys. And it's right now, it's currently for everyone that is currently in Big Blue Pips. I'm so excited for it. It's gonna be a day to remember. It's definitely going to be that. Some of my favorite people in the entire world are going to be there. My mentors, Chairman Dan, Chairwoman Amber, a few others to name, Bryce Thompson, Nathan Samuels, just so many
Man.
people. great people. I'm sure, you know, Dan never disappoints. Okay. Dan and his team, you know, Christelle, they just never disappoint. So I just know for a fact there's going to be some special little surprises for us or something just completely mind-blowing. So I'm super grateful. It's tomorrow. It's doors open at 10, and I do recommend getting there early. And it's just gonna be a movie, like a straight up movie. We're creating
That
history.
sounds phenomenal. You almost make me want to book my flight, girl. But you know, we have an event coming up on the West Coast for you. We're gonna be in Vegas on the 26th and the 27th. I really think our tickets might have sold out already, but I'm gonna definitely add them. We're having a fabulous event with my mentor Chad Thompson out in Las Vegas. It's gonna be super phenomenal. So go to the group. We'll be dropping the links and the flyers there, so you can connect with us on Facebook if you guys missed the live, so that you can find out about these wonderful events. All right, until next time, we love connecting with you guys. Thank you, and have a blessed one.